DNS has problems. So let me walk you through how we use this to do simple troubleshooting in a hotel. So starting at association. So first thing first, to get Wi-Fi access, you need to connect to the Wi-Fi. So we call that association. Then next up, once you connect to the Wi-Fi, you need to authenticate. So we are able to tell whether are you able to authenticate to the network, because sometimes the radio server can be down. So it's not the Wi-Fi, but it's actually the radio server having problem. Maybe the guest put in the wrong room number, the wrong password, or maybe it's expired, or if it's staff, right, he just keyed the wrong password. So, but to them who are not technical, to them it's just Wi-Fi is not working. Then we have DHCP, right? So you're able to connect to the Wi-Fi, you are able to authenticate, but you cannot get IP address. Right? To them, all right, it's still Wi-Fi not working. But for us engineers, when we go in and troubleshoot, it's actually the DHCP server having problem. So we are able to tell you which DHCP server having a problem, how long it takes to get the IP address. And lastly, right, you are able to connect to Wi-Fi, authenticate and get DHCP, not a problem. But you still cannot browse the internet. So the common user still Wi-Fi not working. So we are able to tell you which DNS server is having problem, which guest complaint, and which flaw. So this really helps you to drill down immediately where are those problems without you going all CCIE and going through those logs. Okay. Now, with the Aruba wireless access point, we are able to use it as a sensor to study the guest behavior in the hotel property by using their mobile phone, right, as to detect where they are. So give you an example, all right? This is your hotel property based on the sequence that they come into the hotel. By using Wi-Fi, right, we already know that there's a guest coming in, right? We can also use Bluetooth beacon, right, to give them push notification to their phone if they have the hotel application installed on their device. We can also use Zigbee, right, to allow the guest to open up the door lock for the doors which are Zigbee enabled, right? And then goes on and we can extend that location experience throughout. Like for example, in a fitness room, by using Wi-Fi, we can able to study how long the guest has been in the fitness or in the gym. How long is he using the gym? And when did he left the gym to go back to the room or go to the restaurant? And so we are able to study the behavior by just using the Aruba wireless AP as a sensor. Right. So with that, we are able to do targeted marketing. And with today's new normal, we can also do contact tracing. So in the event that a hotel staff or a guest were to get COVID-19 positive, we can give the hotel IT manager, right, visibility on who has come into close contact with that person. Right? And of course, right, we can do social distancing compliance. For example, right, in this location or in the pool area, we see too many people are in the area. We can use this report to send to security to get them to enforce the people that to follow the social distancing compliance. So it really for your customer, the Aruba wireless AP is more than just Wi-Fi, right? It's a sensor for IoT as well. So let's talk about zero trust security. So in hotels, security is very, very important. Right? We cannot afford for guest network, I mean network to be hacked by people, right? By hackers. So in a typical hotel environment, you'll see that you have a trusted network, which is part of the admin or the back of house network, and you have the guest network on the right hand side. So the guest network are where the guests connect from their room, from public area, and from the lobby. Okay, so you have the access switches, the distribution switches, and the guest call switch. And of course, switches for your servers such as IPTV, and then you will have switches for the servers like your HSI gateway. And then you will have the Aruba firewall, which is basically our gateway, acting as a firewall to allow you to access and go to the internet. Now, right, for a typical guest Wi-Fi traffic, they'll connect to the guest network, right, the open SSID, and the guest traffic will go through, right? Will go through our controller, right? Our controller, and then you hit the gateway. You hear the gateway, right? The HSI gateway. So maybe you're familiar with brands like NLabs or Nomadics, right? Those kind of hospitality gateways, right? And the gateway will authenticate the user and send the traffic back out to the network and goes out to the internet. So this is a normal guest traffic. Now, for admin traffic, I've seen a lot of hotels that will use the same guest AP, right? But they will broadcast another admin SSID on that guest AP, and then when the hotel staff will connect to the admin SSID to do its work, right? Like to use applications such as Hotsoft to do housekeeping or even asset management, right? When they connect, the traffic is essentially sent over the guest network, right? And then goes through a firewall back into the admin side, right? And this traffic, right, is sent over clear text. If someone were to hack the network, they can actually see the admin traffic. And we don't want that to happen. This is not good. So with the Aruba solution, right, with the Aruba solution, we are able to solve this by doing convergence. So with that, the Aruba access point is able to build an encrypted tunnel through the Aruba gateway, which is acting as a firewall. So what happened is that the admin traffic, right, when they connect to the admin Wi-Fi, those traffic will be sent over an encrypted tunnel to our Aruba gateway over here. And then that traffic will be sent out to the DMZ firewall and back down. That means nobody can sniff the admin traffic. And this allows us to make the traffic much more secure, but at the same time, allow the hotel to save money by converging, by using the same APs for guests or for admin as well. So you no longer have to create and deploy separate APs for admin. Okay, so it really converges for wire traffic. Now, how about wired switches? We talk about Wi-Fi just now, let's talk about wired now. So typically, like most hotels, they will hard code the configuration for the device. For example, port 1, IP phone, port 2, AP, this port RCU, this port IPTV, this port to camera, right? These are all static. So if I'm a hacker, I plug in my laptop to the surveillance port. That means I have access to the camera VLAN. So to solve this problem with Aruba, we make all the ports here with dummy VLANs. That means if we do not know who you are, we do not know what device you're using, we will block your access, right, until we know who you are. So with Aruba, right, we use a software called ClearPass to allow you to do automated configuration based on the fingerprinting of the device. So if we know it's a smart TV that belongs to the hotel, assign it a smart TV VLAN, a smart TV ACL or QoS. So if I were to plug this cable to a different port, all right, the security policy, the VLAN, the configuration, the ACL follows that device, irregardless, all right. I can just plug this device to a different port, those configurations will follow that port automatically. So with this, it helps you to eliminate human errors. You don't have to call IT to please help me configure the port. You don't have to do that anymore, right? Your network becomes much more secure, and it helps you to automate rollout. And not just that. So to do this functionality, like I mentioned, we use a software called ClearPass, where all you need to do is to configure it in ClearPass, the software. You don't have to configure on the switches anymore. So the switches, you just have to put in the basic configuration. All that VLAN and security functionality is pushed down from a software, centralized software. Right? It makes the life so much more easier and easier to deploy. Right? So let's talk about AI ops now, right? Artificial intelligence. So because we host our data in the cloud, right? We collect all those data, we're able to give you insights on how your hotel network is performing, right? If it's underperforming, we'll give you a recommendation for optimization. If there are things that we can recommend to make us help you solve problems, right? We will tell you here as well. So these are some of the examples, right? That you can see here. For example, if you have high number of DNS failures, we'll tell you which DNS have problems. So in the past, if you don't have this information, you have to go in to the switches, go into the Wi-Fi, maybe use command line to really identify the problem. So by the time you solve the problem, the guest is already very frustrated. So with AI insights, we go in, we tell you immediately what are those problems. So if I take high number DNS connection failure, I can see day by day, all right, how many failures are there. We will know which hotel is infected, which DNS server has that problem, and which AP in which room, which corridor, which part of which floor in the hotel has that DNS problem. So you will know which user will be infected. So before a user or a guest complain, you know that there's a problem with DNS, go and fix it. Right? So this, when I click on AP, these are the number of AP, right? AP name that has that problem. So typically in the hotel, you will name the AP based on the location, like guest room 1, guest room 2, corridor 1, lobby 1. So based on the AP name, you'll be able to identify already which area in the hotel has that problem. Right? So we have a lot of information, a lot of insights that can help you to do more with less. So if you have a really small IT team, AI can help automate most of that troubleshooting and optimization of your hands. So let me give you an example. All right. So for mission critical problems such as the VPN were to go down, right, from the SD-WAN, if VPN go down, that means staff cannot authenticate to the network. Captive portal for the guest will not work because the VPN went down. So for mission critical problems, we are able to automatically alert you that there's a problem going to happen and collect automatically the necessary logs for you to troubleshoot that problem. So traditionally, when you log a case with Aruba or any other vendor, right? Give you an example. When you log a case and when an engineer is assigned to solve that problem for you, the engineer will ask you, hey, Robert, can you download and get me all these logs so that I can analyze the problem and solve this issue for you? I can tell you that the log may not be enough. The tech will come in and ask again, hey, Robert, I need more logs, right? This is not enough. So with AI, we know already this problem, I need all these logs to solve that problem. So it automatically generates and captures the logs when the problem happens. All right. Then once we get the logs, we automatically open the tech case on your behalf. You don't have to pick up your phone and call tech anymore, right? Aruba Central does it for you automatically. Okay. So with this, all right, for example, Jason from tech team, he received the log. He's already reviewed and analyzed for you, and then it will give you recommendation on how to solve that problem, right? He can even get on a call with you, call you, and advise you, you are having this problem, we need to fix it, and this is how to fix it. So with AI, the goal is to allow hotels to do more with less. Right? With the small team that you have, allow you to do more. And this helps you to improve operational efficiency, solve problems before the guests complain. Right? And the goal is really to solve problems faster time to resolution. So with that, all right, every year, Aruba, right, before COVID, Aruba will host our flagship event. We call it Atmosphere. The Atmosphere. So the last event, I believe, was either Bangkok or Sydney. Right? I just can't remember. So typically, we will build a mock-up hotel guest room so that when you guys come and join us in this event, we can walk and bring you for a walk through our demo center, right? So we actually built a mock-up hotel room where we have a wireless door lock, which is connected to the Aruba AP over Zigbee. And then we have a laptop here with a camera that we use to give you facial recognition to open up the door lock. So of course, the camera, right, is connected over Aruba Wi-Fi. Now, when you come into the room, right, we'll put sensors such as the UXI, right, Aruba User Experience Insight. When we put in the room, we can measure how is the Wi-Fi performing. Right? Is the captive portal working? Facebook and things like YouTube are working fine in the room. Right? And then we have, of course, the Aruba AP, the wall jack AP on the room, right? to showcase you where we put it on the wall and how does it look like. And then we also have wireless charging pad, right? A smart wireless charging pad so that when the guests go into the room, put the phone on the wireless charging pad, we will know immediately, the guest is actually in the room charging the phone.